Hey guys, so today, we're gonna be telling one of my many stories. This story's pretty crazy for me, to be honest. It's really, really crazy. It's really the first like insane thing that's like happened to me, and like I was genuinely like afraid. Anyway, so the story starts off. Me and my friends, we were we were just chatting over like text, and it was four of my other friends, and we were talking pretty much, and that was really it. We were talking, and so I mentioned to them that and I'm not part of this at all, but at the time I bought weed. Um, and when I bought the weed, I wasn't proud of it at all. I got the weed by pretty much, there's this cheerleader at my school. I hang out with her sometimes, and her boyfriend is, I guess, I don't know, a druggie. And so I was hanging out with both of them, and he's pretty chill, you know. He didn't mind that I was hanging out with her, which that was really cool. He's a cool guy. Anyway, so uh, so while I was hanging out with them, he offered me to buy the weed, and at the time I was freaked out, because no one's ever offered me to buy something like that, and I've never spent like an abundant amount of money, on something so like crazy. Um, so I thought it'd be a cool experience. I had not a lot, but some extra cash just lying around, so I paid him and bought it. It was a decent size. It was just like I guess a Ziploc. I would say two Ziploc bags, full, like those sandwich bags. So you know, it's a bit. It's good. So I was telling them, and they were like, "Yo, really? All right." And my friend, he's a druggie. All right, he's done a lot of drugs, and he knows what's up about it. So and then so pretty much we were planning to sneak out in like really early in the morning and go to like this part in this forest and do it. So oh man. Okay, so I want to say that when I snuck out, I want to say that it was probably 2:15 to 2:30. I don't really know, in between there. So I snuck out, and I was freaked out at the time. I've never done something like this before. It was really crazy, and this was like 2 years, 2.5 years ago. I want to say 2.5 years ago, and so uh, so 2.5 years ago, yeah, I was pretty dumb. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything that I was getting myself into, and and frankly, I was genuinely like afraid of what was gonna happen, and I didn't know what to expect. So, and I'm not gonna name where I live or my neighborhood, but all my friends live in this neighborhood, and there's this big forest. That goes really deep in, and just huge. It's really quiet. Not much to do there, but it was a Friday night, and tons and tons of cars were driving around because I guess parties and stuff. The day before there was a football game, so I guess that might be why. I guess people like celebrating the football game. So there were tons of cars just driving around. All right, and I was genuinely afraid. Um, I had the bags just like stuffed under my shirt. Uh, they were pretty much just stuffed under my shirt, and I had my hoodie over it, right, and trying to hold it up through my hoodie. So while I was doing that, I was walking there, and I was afraid someone was gonna like, "Hey, what's in your shirt?" and make me pull it out and see that I have, weed, and that like really just freaks me out so much. So I was walking there, and I really should have brought a flashlight to see where I was, because in the forest I was tripping everywhere. The only light was a dim light for my phone, so not very reliable if you ask me. So they also said that they would. I know where I was going. They wanted to meet at this like creek part. It's really like foresty, but also has a creek there. So they wanted me to meet there. I know where I was going, and they also shined a light for me, so I could barely see it to see where they were. So eventually, I got there, and sorry, I got there, and I had the weed with me, and they're like, "So you have it?" And I'm like, "Yep, all right." And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So my friend, the druggie, not giving out his name, but he passes out some bongs for all of us, each one, and he taught me how to like put the weed in there, light it up, because I didn't know what I was doing, so I did it. And while I was doing it, so I took my first hit, and I was like, "Oh, whoa, what is this?" You know, it was like really crazy, and I had no idea that it was gonna be like that weird. Like, if you've done it before, you know the first time. It's just weird. If you've never done it, then you don't wanna. It's weird. Please, like, I'm telling you right now, like, don't be stupid like me, and don't do drugs. I'm legit serious. Like, they're messed up. Don't be like me. Anyway, so what we're trying to, basically what we were doing, we were smoking the weed, and the part where we had to light up, it was pretty lit on mine. So I guess I trip over, right? I had no idea what I tripped over. I didn't like bother to check because like I was just in like such a daze, I guess. So so I tripped. Didn't bother to check. Probably like a rock or something like that. I don't know. But and it like my like I leave, basically it's on the ground, the bong, and it like because it dropped out of my hand, and it starts to light a fire. All right, and at this time like. I don't see it at the moment, but I see it later, and I'm like, oh my god, all right, and there's this pretty like intense fire, all right, and like we could have actually set a forest fire, but my friend, the druggie, actually, he has the greatest idea to go run in there and have all of us stomp on the fire. All right, we didn't have any liquids or fluids to pour the water or to pour on the fire, so we just had to use our bodies, I guess. So I told him that he was like dumb for saying that, and he was like, "No, it'll work. Trust me, you have to do it, all right? Or else like we're gonna start a forest fire and like get arrested." And then they all agree, and I'm still hesitant because like I don't know, I'm a pansy, I guess. And so they're all in, and I haven't gone in yet because I'm like afraid of the fire. Because who isn't afraid of fire? So, eventually I decided that I actually need to contribute to this and actually help them. So I run in there and start to do my thing. I stomp around in the fire and try to get it as fast as possible. My legs are like burning. They're not on fire. They're just really hot. So yeah, it was just crazy. I wasn't too deep in, maybe 4 or 5 inches in, to the fire, but eventually we actually did a pretty good job of getting it out, and we actually did. After that, we all had some beef about how like if that kept going on, we could have actually been arrested, and that thought of my age, I'm not gonna release my age, but the thought of like at the time, this was about 2.5 years ago, the thought of being arrested 2.5 years ago, like that like genuinely like scared me, and it was a very, very terrifying experience. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, see you guys later. 360-degree reality.